That's what that's how it went down, and what I did was probably a little wrong, but what they did was worse. And I wasn't going for anything more than what they owed me. And they stayed in the room.
Okay.
So.
Okay. When we started, it's November 16th, 2010 at 21:45. Now, is it Michael or Mike?
Michael's the name.
Just M-I-C?
M-I-C-H-A-E-L.
And your middle name again, Mike?
Dale, D-A-L-E. M-O-E-N.
And how old are you again?
41.
And your date of birth?
12/31/68.
Address?
Physical address is 604 North Main. That's in Starbuck.
And you're married, you said?
I am married.
And phone number?
320-239-4300.
And
self-employed, yeah. Cedar Inn, yes.
Same address?
Same address as it's physical.
Same phone number too?
Yes.
And last grade you completed in school?
Well, 4 years of college. So.
Do you have a BA or a BS?
I have a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Biology.
Where did you get your bachelor's at?
University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities.
Okay. What I'm going to do is read you these 4 paragraphs, okay? What I need you to do is initial on these lines after those paragraphs. When you do that, you're indicating that I read you the paragraph and you understand it. So if you, for whatever reason, if you don't understand the paragraph, don't initial it, and I'll try and explain it to you.
Sure.
Okay?
No problem.
You have the right to remain silent and refuse at any time to answer any questions asked by a police officer. Anything you do or say can be used against you. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have a lawyer with you during any questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you, and you may remain silent until you talk to a lawyer. Understand all those?
I do.
Okay. And if you agree to speak, if you agree to speak, okay, go ahead and sign it. And I'll sign it. Yeah. Okay. I got the right. Oh yeah. Just to kind of review, so I make sure I have everything right still.
I'll do my best to remember the date. I don't remember exact dates. You probably have better grasp on the exact dates than I do. So
I believe the exact date is October 5th when they checked in.
Okay.
You know, that was that Kelly McKeever. I don't know how you said the last name.
Yeah, Kelly, and I think it was both rooms in her name. I think it was 2 rooms, 2 nights.
Yeah.
So.
And Kelly checks in first before the victim shows up. Her name again is, I'll double check to make sure I got it right. Brittany Luther.
Yeah. And I honestly don't know if don't think I talked with her, but
with Brittany?
I don't think so, okay. But I could have. I could have. I don't know. I didn't. I was never formally introduced to any of them other than Kelly, and that was after the fact of having to call her. So.
Sure. Okay. No, but Kelly reserved the rooms in her name.
Yes.
Paid for them or gave you her credit card information eventually? Is that how it happened?
Here's how it happened. She made the reservation, said she wanted to pay with a card when she came. She didn't give me a card at the time. And then left without paying. Okay. And then finally, I called her several times, probably not less than 6. Left several messages, and then she finally called back and paid the bill.
Okay.
So.
And how did she pay?
She gave me her credit card number over the phone.
Okay. And do you remember what that total was?
I don't. I can tell you that it is $58.90 plus tax times 4 minus 1 night, because she claims that she didn't stay in the room one night even though she never told me, and I gave her a break on it.
Okay.
So I gave her a deal, even though technically I shouldn't have, because she reserved 4 nights and didn't inform me that she didn't stay in one room one of the nights, which she should have done by rights. I could have charged her and I didn't. So.
Okay.
And it was several days before she got back to me
So
to
about
pay.
the next week then sometime?
I'm not sure exactly. It was a while.
Okay.
It was a while. So.
Okay. And is she the only one from this group that you've ever had contact with?
Yeah. Well, I talked with a guy that night before that they were leaving. I can't remember his name, but I do know that he was from the Stillwater area because his dad, he said his dad owned a couple golf courses there. And the only reason he told me that is because I have an easy-go golf cart at my place, and he was questioning me on if that was my cart, and that he has an easy-go key and all this stuff. So we had small talk about it. And at that time, he had said that he's with that group, and I also inquired to him. I said, well, should we take care of the bill tonight, or are you guys not leaving early in the morning or anything like that? He said, no, we're not leaving early. We can take care of everything in the morning. I said, that would be just fine. Otherwise, we can do it tonight. Not a big deal. Okay, no, we should just be able to do it in the morning. So that's the only contact I had with any of the other group. And the promise that they were going to be there in the morning was false. I was up at 6 a.m. to open the bait tackle store I have, and they were cleared out of there. Okay. Everything was gone, all their cars, all the rooms were empty, everything. So fairly certain that that was intended.
You don't think they ever planned on paying?
I think that they were going to not pay.
Okay.
Because it's happened before.
Yeah?
The same similar scenarios. Not with a business group like that, but it just seemed shady to start with a little bit. I probably should have tried a little harder to get. I figured since I talked to the guy and confronted him, and I don't know that he intentionally. She was responsible for paying for the rooms. She was paying for all the rooms. I don't know that he would have had any part of saying, hey, let's take off. I'm pretty sure that they probably would assume that she took care of it. And that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know for sure.
There's Kelly, you're saying,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the one
yeah.
you're going to pay.
Yeah, that's what I'm, because she's really the only one that I ever had direct contact with, and it seemed like she was running the show.
Okay.
American Income, I think, is their company. If you
Do you
don't
know what they do? Or?
No.
It's not that important, I'm just curious.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I have no clue.
Okay.
I was going to look it up online, and I did, and I'm sure there's some sort of a website out there for that, but
all right.
it might be an investment thing. I don't know.
It sounded like it's something they go door to door.
Yeah, they go door to door for sure. So.
Okay. And like we talked from last time, I told you how it is we got involved as far as law enforcement.
Yep.
It was the credit card company contacted Brittany, and then she reported it.
Okay.
And then what led us to you was that it was coming from your card reader.
Definitely.
And correct me if I'm wrong now, if memory serves me right, you said that you're the only one that works behind the counter there that has access to the card reader.
That's correct. But it's open.
Okay.
And I'm not always down there. I live right upstairs, and it's a doorbell system, so it's an on-your system. If someone comes in the office, I have a note. It says, please ring the doorbell for service. So then they ring the doorbell, and I come down. I since have changed the policy, and I lock it, and they have to ring the doorbell for me to even open the door.
So they can ring it from outside?
Yeah, it's an outside doorbell.
Okay.
So I've since done that because it would be nothing for people to mingle in and out of there, and I wouldn't know it.
Sure.
Fairly simple.
And you said you had some problems in the past.
Yep. It's been a while, but I've had some theft behind there, so I don't even keep any cash in the cash drawer anymore. I had a fairly big bunch of money stolen on a walleye opener. It was quite a few years ago. And then I had a second one shortly after that with just a little bit of money, because then I was just sparingly keeping money in there, and someone had broken in with pliers or something, popped that open, and took all the change and a few ones or whatever. But so since then, I just don't keep cash in there, but I've always left it open because, you know, it's a lobby, so I let them come in, and that's where they check in, and they see the note, and then they take care of the doorbell thing and stuff. But now I lock it more frequently. I mean, if I'm right upstairs, I'll maybe be a little more lax and leave it open down there. But if I'm like going running on errands, I'll run on errands, maybe the grocery store, bank deposits, that sort of thing, and I'll leave it open because I'm gone 20 minutes, maybe half hour if I see people and talk with them, maybe a little longer. But never had knowingly had a problem, I guess. But so what I'm saying is people can have access behind there, even though I'm the only one that's supposed to have access behind there. That's the deal. So.
But you don't have any employees that work for you that would
No,
go behind the counter?
I have a cleaner, but that cleaner is a cleaner, and that's it. No reason or any, could never do anything with it anyways. So.
And you showed me that when we were here how you access the card reader,
Yep.
you enter somebody's account number, and then how you could do a transaction without actually having
Yep.
the credit card.
You don't have to swipe it. You can enter the number, and then you enter the amount, and then you get the receipt, and then yep, that's how it works. Yep.
All right. Now this group, it was 3 or 4?
I think there was at least 4, and maybe less. I think it varied. I think that there's others that were back and forth between Alec and there too, the way I understood it. But
Okay.
so it was for sure 3, not more.
And 2 rooms for 2 nights was the original plan. That's what they.
That's what they booked. That's what they booked.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they left a night early. They
No.
only stayed one night, or did
No, they stayed the 2
nights?
nights, but their promise to not cut out. They must have left whenever, early in the morning or late at night, depending on how you want to look at it.
Okay.
Because I opened the bait and tackle store at 6 a.m. So I'm in my office 5:30, 5:45, and they were gone, and I'm sure they were knocking on doors trying to sell their American Income at that time.
Yeah.
So.
Did Kelly ever give you any kind of explanation why they cut out like that?
Yeah, she had a heck of a story. She said one of her clients from Kensington's dog attacked her, and she had to go to the hospital. And that was her excuse for not. You'd have to hear her tell the story, because there's a lot of ums and uhs, and then I'd ask her questions, and that was because she, at that time, I don't know if I told you this before, but at that time she said someone was trying to, and I wasn't clear on what she was talking about. She said someone was trying to use my card, or my friend's card, and I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, it's weird that someone was unauthorized to use a card, and they were trying to get money out of her card or something, and I wasn't clear on what she was talking about. And then she told me this story about the dog, and she said, and I guess, long story short, the funny thing is that she says, wow, that's really weird that someone tried to use her card and you don't have access to her card. I said, yeah, it's almost as weird as getting attacked by a dog. And it got pretty quiet there, like, oh, yeah. But anyways, I wasn't clear on what she was talking about until you clarified for me. So, but I think, I don't know if that was the reason she called me in the first place, because she was nervous about that part of it, or what, but whatever it was, she did end up calling me and paying me and telling me that story, so.
Okay. Well, where we're at then is we're winding our investigation up here, and the reason I wanted to meet with you again is because we do have some issues. You acknowledged the first time we met that nobody really stands to benefit from this transaction. They can't get cash out of your drawer. If they wanted, if you had cash, they wouldn't need to access your card reader to go to it. They would just take the cash.
No, that's right.
And where we're breaking down here, or what I think is happening, and it's looking like the transactions are happening at your account, at your card reader. There's no doubt about that. And you can see the amounts here that they're trying to get out. After this one here, the rest of these up are the fraudulent transactions. Okay? The first one happens on October 7th at 4:52 p.m. for the amount of $249.60. Now, that's a pretty unique amount.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's going to try and take money just to take money isn't going to write in for $249.60. 60 cents. This amount looks like it's something that's owed to somebody in particular. Okay. So,
Okay.
the point I'm trying to make here, Mike, is I think you were owed money from this group.
I was owed money.
Yeah, I know you were owed money.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talked to Kelly, she even acknowledges that they skipped out on you.
She does.
Yeah.
They weren't going to
But
pay.
she told me the story about getting jumped on by a dog, and she's 8 or 9 months pregnant, and she was afraid she was going to have a miscarriage. I mean, it is a long, drawn-out story. I know exactly what you mean. But you got to hear
She told you
her.
the same story.
Yeah. So she said that's why they cleared out early, and she thought one of her other coworkers was going to make it right with you. Is what she told me. I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Right. But okay, go ahead.
That's where I think we're getting this number. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to jerk you around or
No,
play my
no.
games with you or anything like that. And I can understand this happening.
Right.
Completely. I'm not a business owner, but if somebody owed me this kind of money,
Right.
I would want to get it back, because otherwise, if I kept letting people walk over me like this, I'm not going to be in business very long. Certainly, I'm not going to be very successful at it.
Right.
I have no problems with this happening. And I don't think a judge or a jury would have any problems with this happening. But with the lack of explaining it, then that's when we have an issue.
Okay.
We have to come with some kind of explanation. You see what I'm saying, Mike?
Yep.
So, that's why I wanted to meet with you here tonight.
Okay.
Because a reasonable person sees this, and when the first time I met you, you said, I didn't do it, it wasn't me. That makes people concerned.
Right.
Covering it up, then maybe there's more to the story.
Okay, well.
And I don't think you're a bad guy.
No.
Not at all. And
No.
I talked, I did my homework a little bit. I talked to Brian and some of the other cops around here and the deputies that I know, and they all said you're a decent guy. They were kind of surprised that this was happening at your establishment.
Right.
So I want to know the rest of the story.
Okay.
So,
well, here's the deal. They skipped out on me.
yeah.
I went into their room, went through the garbages, found a receipt, and I thought it was maybe Kelly's receipt, credit card receipt.
Okay.
And all I had was the number, no expiration date. And I couldn't read, I mean, it was just a receipt. It didn't say anything but the number and that it was a credit card receipt. A credit card receipt stuff. And I tried to run a charge through so that it would cover their expense, and that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
And what these different charges you're seeing, I'm changing expiration dates to try and narrow it down.
Okay.
Because that's what's not on there is the expiration date. Anyways, what I was doing here is I was doing the small amount thinking it was declined, so I was going to see if it was just a bad card, and if it didn't have $249, and I was going to see, well, maybe it's got $10, see if it's even a good account, maybe it's bogus, I didn't know. And that's why you see so many different ones, because I'm trying the expiration dates.
Okay.
Because you need a proper expiration date.
Sure.
And I was pissed because they cut out on me, and I knew they cut out on me, and I called several times before I did this. Several times.
Okay.
That's why the dates on here are in the PM. This is after the girls have cleaned. Okay,
Your staff had cleaned it?
This is, I went in there before, did all the stuff I told you I did, called several times. Got to be 5 in the afternoon. And I think this is probably even the next day, if I'm not mistaken. The next full day afterwards.
Sure.
So I waited that long to try to talk with this girl.
Okay.
And she didn't call back. And what I think happened is that her friend said, what's going on? This company's trying to take money on my account. Did you pay the bill? And she goes, whatever she says. And then she calls and tries to make it right with me. Because I don't think she would have called me if that wouldn't have happened.
Just Kelly wouldn't have?
No.
Sure.
Because she wasn't answering. She wasn't answering. I left, well, no less than a half dozen messages with her. And I was very nice each time. Just saying, straighten it out. I'm sure we're just missing each other on these calls and whatever. Saying that sort of stuff. Anyways, I thought that was maybe her card.
You thought it was Kelly's?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because how would I not? I mean, it could have been any of them, I guess, but that's what I had. And I know they stayed there. It's only their garbage.
Yeah.
So any one of them would be responsible for the rooms, in my opinion. So, and the reason that I didn't want to admit to it is because, and I don't know why now that I think about it, is because I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be in trouble for it because it. But now that I think about it, no money was taken out, and they owe me this money. I wasn't intentionally trying to take $1,000 out and think I'm going to really stick it to them and take more money out. If I wanted to do that, I have access to plenty of credit cards.
Right.
In my establishment, I could do that. They just owed me money.
Sure.
And these three amounts should explain that these are, and this 250 is just because I got sick of 24960 is 250.
Yeah.
And then I just started doing even numbers to see if I could just get something out of there.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking that they were declined cards because there weren't enough money in there.
Also, you're trying to lower the amount down.
Right. So because I figured maybe they only had the $80 in there, or $150 in there, and it wouldn't cover 249 or 250. So I went to less amount. So if I get 100 now, I thought, well, I'll save the card, then I'll get 100 down the line, and then I'll get 50 later. So it all comes out right. You know what I mean? So yeah. And yeah, and then I apologize for being deceptive on that, but I was pissed, and I was actually real surprised that that they would have the balls to call me in on something like this when they know that they didn't pay the bill. Yeah. And I've been stiff so many damn times and not gotten a penny from people that are sitting right around this town, but they don't pay and they don't get in trouble. Why is that okay? I just want to get paid.
Sure.
I'm trying to do it the right way, and I'm just sitting in here doing this. They sit in their homes and just don't pay, and the cops know about it and they don't do nothing about it. In my book, that's theft. I know if they would have went in and stole a $250 rod and reel combo out of Target and got caught, they'd go to jail. But if they stiffed me out of a room, they don't. Why is that?
I don't know what's going on here in Starbuck.
Well, I mean, what would happen in Morris?
Well, there's a defrauding an innkeeper. I mean, it's a state statute.
Yeah, they don't do that. I mean, they don't try to do that here for some reason.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a question you'd have to ask.
I have.
Jim or.
I have.
Okay, so, well.
Well, I didn't know that. They made it sound like it was impossible, so. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you coming clean on this, though. I mean, if nothing else, it's going to give this young lady the peace of mind knowing that she knows who did it, and it's not somebody else, just random person.
No, it's no one stealing her identity. Yeah. It's all, and all that stuff. The minute that this didn't work, I shredded everything.
Yep.
So I shredded everything. I shredded it all so that no one else could, because that's what I do with, unless it's my stuff where I put into a file, you know, that sort of stuff, I shredded it out. So it's.
Do you remember where the receipt was from?
No. I think there's actually more than one in there. I think there's more. There's a lot of garbage in there, so I don't. It was a big receipt, like it could have been. No, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. There were several different receipts in there, more than two, several, maybe 3 or 4, but
But it had the whole account number?
Had the account number on there.
But not the expiration date?
Not the expiration date.
Did it tell you what kind of card? Was it a Visa card? Or
I don't remember. I know what number. If it starts with a 4, it's a Visa, 5 is a MasterCard, 3 is an American Express, and 6 is Discover.
Okay.
So I don't know what it was.
That's not information you really need to have to put it into the card reader, do you? You just need the number?
Just need the number and an expiration date.
Okay.
So I know enough about it, too. If I wanted to do it, I could do it. So, I mean, so could anybody.
Right.
That is a business.
Right.
So.
But that's the information I'm getting from the credit card company too. Is this? It only happened on this occasion, and after that, it stopped.
Right.
So.
And and what it was is I missed a call from them, from some credit union.
Okay.
And there was a message, and I even answered the call, and I don't know, it didn't work. So I listened to the message, and it was so-and-so credit union. Your card has been, or I have a client whose card has been, they're trying to take money out of this card, and it's coming from this card, or for this area, and I'm like, okay, well, shit, I didn't even know that if you had the wrong expiration date, I didn't know that that was a red flag for any of that, because it wasn't even going through.
Sure.
So that's the first for me. I just thought, and I guess that's, I mean, I don't know if it's something new or if it's always been like that, but I just figured if you knew the card, you could do expiration dates and figure out how to get paid by these guys so that so I'm not getting stiffed.
Sure.
And it's not like I went ahead and did it. I mean, I wish I could know the dates now exactly, because I want to say that this has got to be the next evening after the first evening, so this would be day 2. Is the 7th, that's middle of the week, or I can't remember.
I think you're right. I think they checked in on the 5th, and then
Say
cleared
the
out.
5th and 6th, and left the morning of the 6th.
Yeah, and then so you waited till the evening of the 7th.
Yeah, so I waited to hear from her that long, and I think that was reasonable.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
And yeah, what I did, I mean, didn't feel good about doing it that way, but I'll tell you what, when you're not returning calls, and they stayed in the room, and that's their number. I was assuming it was Kelly's, but I was wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
At the time.
The receipt didn't have a name on it, then I assume.
Not that I noticed. Yeah. No, I was actually just focused on that number.
Sure.
To tell you the truth, so. But.
And so you went in there this morning of the 7th then, or the?
No, it would have been the 6th. Whenever they left, I did it on the 6th. I had it that long.
Okay.
And I hung on to it, and I just kind
of. That's why you hung on to it though? You figured?
Yeah, because they didn't call back, and it was shady that they left that early.
Okay.
If they're doing this American Income stuff where you talk with people.
Sure.
Do you want to get bugged at 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
So like, it was a red flag. I'd done this long enough to know that I got stiffed.
Okay. So you went in after you noticed they'd gone, you figured they're not
coming
back.
And I knew they weren't, because they were staying 2 nights.
Yeah.
So I knew they weren't coming back. And I went in there, and what I did is I waited that my cleaners don't come in until 10. Okay. So I waited that long. I didn't just go in there. I knew they were gone already anyways. And I thought maybe they went to breakfast and were coming back. You never know, any of that stuff. So none of that happened. 10:30, the maid had other rooms to clean anyway, so she was into those rooms, and I waited and I called, nothing. So I thought, well, I'm going in there just to see if there's stuff in there. Maybe they're in there. I mean, maybe not that they're in there, but there's stuff in there and they're coming back. It was cleared out, except for, like pop bottles, some beer cans, and some different things, I think. And there's stuff. There's a lot of garbage in the room, anyways. But so.
It was about 10 or 10:30, you said?
I couldn't give you an exact time on when I did it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I suppose the checkout was 11. It could have been early afternoon even. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
But the receipt was in the garbage can?
It was in the garbage can, but there's some stuff laying, I don't know. There's a dual table in there and some different things. There's some stuff there too, but I don't know exactly where I got that particular one. But it was garbage, regardless. I'm sure they're discarding it,
Yeah.
But it could have been in the garbage can, so.
Okay. Do you think what you did was wrong?
What I did was wrong. Well, I think what they did was worse.
Yeah.
What I did was to make it even. I wasn't doing anything more than that.
Okay.
So the way I did it to get my payment maybe was wrong, but it's no worse than it's way worse what they did, in my opinion. So I would say it would be wrong if I took this amount and made it $500 or more than what they owed me, but this is what they owed me, and in fact I gave them a discount. Even after all that, I gave them less than that for cost. That amount is $58.90 times 4. If you take $58.90 times 4,
yeah,
plus tax,
that's what you get, $249.60.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I gave them a rate of, I think she paid $187 something. So after all that and that bullshit, and
You still gave him a discount?
I gave her a discount. So if I wanted to be an asshole, I could have been an asshole. So you know the kind of guy I am just from that stuff. So,
Sure.
So I did give her a discount, and it wasn't for any other reason than that she said she didn't stay the third night, and I said, well, I mean, okay. So I mean, yeah. So she ended up even paying that. I don't know if it was 187, but I think it was pretty close to that, because I gave her a discount for one full night plus a partial, plus another partial night. I don't know. Yeah, it was quite a discount though. So yeah, that's what that's how it went down. And yeah, what I did was probably a little wrong, but what they did was worse. And I wasn't going for anything more than what they owed me, and they stayed in the room.
Okay.
So.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, no, not really, unless they're going to listen to it. They can know that I know their intention, that they were cutting out because you don't leave that early, and I don't buy the dog bite story either. So,
okay.
I think it was BS. And you know what? If it did happen, I apologize for that. But still, you can call.
Right.
You can still call. One of your colleagues can call. Someone can call. So, that's the right thing to do. So yeah, that's really all I have to say, I guess, about that.
If you know anything else, I'm just
yeah, that's all.
Okay. It's at 22:16.